What is up, Low Voltage Nation? This show is going to be a doozy because we got Mark Sterle from WikiLocks on the show. We're going to talk about information security, and we're going to catch up from the good old days in Akron, Ohio. So let's get after it. We got Mark Sterle on the show. It's Sunday, and I really appreciate Mark taking some time out of his day to come and talk about information security. He works for a company called WikiLocks, and I'm going to kick it off with giving a little background as to how we met. And you're going to have to remind me, Mark. We met at that one marketing event. It was like you had some awards. What was that called?
It was the DSMA from the Sales Executive. I think it's National Sales Executive, but it's basically the Designated Sales Award event. And that's where we met. And you were taking pictures, and my brother was there, so it was cool to get to meet him. And took some brilliant photos of all the awards, the guys accepting the awards. So that's where we first met. Just we sat at the same table, if you remember. They sat us together. So
it was cool. It was cool. And then we kind of connected after because I was working at Pastoral as an IT director. And then I guess we met up at Pita Pit. And I think it was like, weren't you sitting there and I'm like in a full-on sprint trying to make it on time for the meeting? That was you, right?
All I remember is I see this guy like run past the store, and I was like, okay. And then I see him come back, and I think you ran past the Pita Pit. You go, it's over here. And he came inside. Yeah, you were a full-blown sweat with a full-blown like business casual on. I was like, you gotta be Blake. He's like, so yes. Funny. I was like, oh my god, that was pretty funny. Yeah, you definitely made an impression there.
What
you ran all the way down the street. Maybe we ran like 3 blocks.
Yeah, because Google said you have to leave for your meeting, but it assumed that I was going to be in a vehicle. But what was the meeting for? I'm trying to paint a picture as to what working capacity we had, or what were we doing exactly.
I think that we were talking about, I believe the product that you were, the review software, if you remember, that you were doing, that startup.
Okay.
Remember, I forget the name of it. But you were looking at that.
Online control management. It was relationship. Oh no, it was customer management on like social media.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, which I thought was really cool. But obviously, we also just connected on when you worked for Pastoral. If you remember, I was trying to sell you a server rack. Remember?
You're trying to offload a server rack. You should have just given that thing to me.
I know. I was like, my owners are like, "Oh, he's got the money out of this." I was like, I remember you're like, dude, I could buy. I got a nice budget. I could buy a nicer one, but thanks.
I mean, you had to try. You're a relationship guy, is what you said you were. That kind of actually kicks us off into the first question I like to ask people. Like, what's your superpower? And you're just an honest dude. You're not like we talked about the used car salesman. You know, you're just like straight to the point, but you're also really good at managing relationships. So tell me about that.
Yeah, correct. I guess, that's a great way to put it. I mean, superpower, besides, I like sales. I do, because I get to meet people and build those relationships. The only reason I'm into it. Obviously, we all work to want to be more successful and make more money, right? I mean, that's another reason why I'm in sales. But really, I've never been in sales to be a sales guy or to actually some typical sales guys like used car salesmen. They want to either it's all about the money or they have to win, like they have to beat someone. Like for me, it's just I find people just very intriguing, and this goes back to when. I was in the band, 3 years ago, and I used to work on Carnival Cruise Lines. I played in the band and toured, and I just really, truly enjoyed meeting people. And I've got a good knack at it. I was bartending for years too. I kind of honed my skills there for years and years back in the day, and it's really, truly served me well. Not only just on the sales capacity, but in life in general. I met some really cool people, and have been very successful in my career because of it. So,
yeah, and we met under the capacity of a MSP because you ran a company. What was the name? Area 51, wasn't it? Yeah,
Area 51 Data Solutions. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know if we brought you guys in. I think you guys kind of got beat out by BPI Information Systems because we already had that existing relationship. But
No, it's true. Yeah, I think it actually was a good thing because I think we really didn't like Jeff that much. So, I think my owner and I, where we were my partner, we were sitting there like, yeah, you can have it, Mike. And I love Mike. I'm glad he got the contract, but I'm sure he's not so glad anymore. No, actually, I talked to him. Actually, they're going well over there. So they got a new with their new guy there that's doing what you did.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's initially, yeah, we're like, be careful what you wish for, right?
that's so funny. So you're talking about they got a new guy over there at Red Oak, I think is the name of the company now, or what?
Correct. Yeah, Red Oak Behavioral Health. And funny, coincidentally, I showed his name is JD, and
Yeah.
it's his. I forget his last name, Jeff the Coolest, I think. But anyway, showed him our solution because literally this year they actually got a Cryptolocker attack, and obviously your good backup is your best defense of that. So the problem was that they're under HIPAA compliance. So when I showed him our solution, he was like, "Oh, he's like, man, I wish I would have had this." He's like, "I could have totally, not paid some fines." And so we actually did get the chance to show him, and he's actually going to move forward with us here at the first of the year once we get the new budget. So we actually it was cool. It was a good it's a good relationship there, and they're chugging along, doing well. So.
Yeah, that's good. The name of the company is WikiLocks, and you showed me a demo, and it's something I'm interested in because I'm all about information security, and the more things you can put in front of people trying to steal your data, the better. It comes down to almost budget for me because we don't have a budget for information security, unfortunately.
No one does, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's me. Like I'm the guy, and I need help. I need help to bring in outside security operations center. That's why I brought in binary defense. So that was huge. But it's tough. It's so tough right now to be in the IT department and alone in the IT department. So tell me about WikiLocks and like how that benefits a company like in any industry really.
Sure. It starts at a real high level, and I'll kind of dive in a little bit, but essentially, it's content encryption. So we're creating a whole new industry really because we're actually encrypting the data inside documents at a binary level. So essentially, once you get past that 1 or 2 up to 5 passwords on the outside of a Word document, that good at maintain that security, which most people aren't. Once they get past that and they breach that, we can still protect that data because we're encrypting the binary level, so it's unhackable. So once someone gets into it, literally it's encrypting every character with its own unique random key and password. So really cool. It's like the final frontier of data protection. So like I was telling you, it's it's no one's doing it, but it's good and bad, right? Because we try to educate people and show them that they're not worried about it yet, but it's fortunately, with all the recent breaches and attacks in the news and cities and et cetera, we're getting a lot more interest because I think it's truly it's exponentially getting worse and worse every year. I mean, we could go over the facts and statistics, but so essentially for us, being the data inside a Microsoft Suite document or PDFs. So if actually someone steals the documents, if there's a file breach or theft of the documents, we can still protect that data. We can control the data wherever it goes for life of the document. So it kind of starts in a high level of cybersecurity. So it comes in handy for several reasons, just across any industry. I mean, if you have an ex-employee that maybe had some sensitive information at one time stored on their laptop, they probably just had some files there. As soon as you remove them as access from the solution, they get removed access from the actual scene, the encrypted data. So it's very handy that way, just making sure you can control that for the life of the document. But for each vertical, it has unique value props. We launched WikiLocks. It's actually our legal and government brand. The actual solution it was built off was called Windtalker. And that's still the code that was written for this. And if you remember your history, Windtalker was a Navajo code they used in World War II for encryption. And that's basically we created it for the Department of Defense 5 years ago. And, they've been using it and they use it for the special ops guys. So we're just now branding it vertically and bringing it to different sectors. We launched in legal this year in February, and then we're soon to launch in healthcare and financial. But each vertical has, like I said, specific value props. For law firms, a lot of the attorneys have challenges because, with discovery and any kind of disclosure during the litigation cycle, obviously there's lots of documents to be shared, right, between experts, witnesses, plaintiffs, defendants, right? So what happens is right now they do versioning of documents. So, there's a Excel doc or there's a Word doc or a PDF, and they're sharing it with multiple parties, and it's just bilateral, right? So they have to do versions. So it's like version 1, version 2, version 3. And unfortunately, if someone gets the wrong version, and they can see that they're probably not supposed to see, and then the case can get thrown out, right? So we help with that because we provide what we call differential sharing. So you can have, multiple people, 10, 20, whatever, how many people you want, looking at the same document, but only seeing what you want them to see, because we create these different roles inside the document, if you remember the demo. And so differential sharing is a really huge part of it for legal. But obviously for any industry, it's just nice. You can have a document sent to multiple parties, but you're only controlling what they see and access to. You can also track if they printed it, if they forwarded it. So it's got a lot of great, it's got a great feature built in the backside. It's our bench dashboard, which can control. It's basically an audit trail of the document and chain of custody. So that's great for legal as well. So yeah, really across the board, just cybersecurity. But as you get into compliance, like HIPAA, financial, it's got some very unique value props for the compliance side as well.
Yep. It's definitely something that I'm interested in. And, since I guess I'm considered kind of like a full stack engineer, if you will, because I go from pouring concrete to install an intercom system, and then running the cable to it, and then programming it, and then securing the network. That's
you're the fullest stack guy I've ever met in my life.
I'm not joking. I'm describing my day-to-day.
It's so funny when you started working for Guardian. I thought about that. I was like, man, what can't this guy do? I was very impressed. I mean, I have several friends, and I have several people in the industry that do obviously the structured cabling and, like you said, all that stuff. And I mean, I've messed a little bit around with firewalls and configuring the sonic walls, things like that. But man, I don't think any company would trust me with scissors in my hand on the wires. But
that's funny. And I think since I'm like right at that level, low voltage, that's like data cable, fiber optic, I can keep going up the stack and talk about these things. Because it's for me, it's important. The physical security side of things, when I get into access control and then securing the networks, it's a holistic approach to information and physical security. So then once you get to where you are, I mean, that's pretty important too. So I agree. I mean, we're very extremely niche-y. We're just doing a small part, but that's the thing about where we're going to be successful. Obviously, because we're ahead of the curve and no one's doing what we're doing currently, but also because we're going to stick to that niche and we're going to expand the solution as our customers see fit. And we already have done that and developing very aggressively. But you're right. I mean, there's a whole gamut of things, they're part of that whole process. Like you said, it starts with like installing and making sure that physically everything's there protected, and of course, protecting everything digitally as well. So yes, you mentioned one thing about, how it's a newer product, and I'm kind of jumping ahead of the questions, but we might as well talk about it. Your challenge and solution about, it's a newer product. It's a real problem, but most people don't realize like there's a solution for it. So tell me about that.
It's correct. Yeah. I mean, so like I was saying earlier, it's, the best thing about our solution is that no one's doing it. The worst thing about our solution is that no one's doing it. And it's just truest statement. I know it's funny, but it is. It's true. I mean, people they don't get it. And you send them to the site, and they go, okay, they kind of get a part of it. Once they see it, it's really just it's the education up front, and telling them why they need it. I mean, if you have a new solution out there that's ahead of the curve like that, I mean, it takes some time for adoption. We're finding out, but once we get the interest there, man, it's sky's the limit. I mean, we had some very exciting meetings here in the past month, especially, and but that's what it is. It's just really just educating them first and saying, hey guys, you really need to start talking about controlling your data at the binary level, by character by character. We always say like we encrypt paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence, word by word, etc. It really, no one's even thinking about that. And people are just now starting to, as you know, InfoSec started to figure out, man, I need to have some kind of security operations center in place, or I need to have some kind of plan. And that's what we find when we talk about these companies. With our roles that we create, we actually do consulting on role classification, because what we're finding out is no one has any, if they have a data classification policy, it's usually like, is it unclassified or classified? It's very high level. Our solution gets very granular. So it's actually kind of fun because we talk to these companies, and once we show them the solution, then they start, the light bulbs start going off. And then we come in and say, all right, guys, like, let's really dig in deep about your company. Let's figure out your hierarchy, who's going to see what, who's going to be the admin of this, and truly getting deep on that. And that's why we actually make it mandatory that people try the solution first, because we really it's different for every company and every industry. So we take a very, very customized approach. We talk to each customer and say, hey, what exactly are your challenges, and let us show you how we can help mitigate some of those challenges and risks.
Yeah. How long have you been working for WikiLocks?
So it's funny. Last so I was with a software company I was a part equity owner in. We actually just sold, which is cool, but it was called Station Check. And this is a unique fire station software, basically a mobile-based way to do their checks in their vehicles. So I was with them last year, and they asked me to jump in. That's why I left Area 51, because I was a partner in this, and they asked me to come in and kind of be the director of sales and drive some sales, which we did, and to get ready to sell. And that's ultimately what happened.
Right.
But I met the owner, the CEO of WikiLocks is actually CEO of a company called Innovation Advisors Group. And they're based here in Ohio, but they have offices all around the world. But essentially, they go and find startup or very unique type solutions that are either having problems or they're not sure what to do. That's exactly what Windtalker guys have sold to the DOD, and they're like, okay, now what do we do? So anyway, I met him last summer. He showed me a solution because I was told, I said, well, we're gonna get out of the company here. We're gonna make a good exit. I'm kind of looking for the next thing to do. And he was like, well, check this out. And so I saw it. So immediately, with my MSP and my this IT background, I was like, oh man, I got it right away. So I started kind of messing with it last year, but I officially came on board in January this year to prep it, and we officially launched in February, and it's been going great so far.
Yeah. And what's your title there? You're director of sales?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what does your day-to-day look like?
Oh God. Well, it's a startup, right? So we wear multiple hats. We do everything.
Yeah.
So I, because we are self-funded, which is great. So we have no investment. It's the CEO, one of his other companies, and himself personally is funding it. So we're just trying to be careful on, we're not going out and, dropping $10 million on a new company and just, blasting it out. We're just taking a little bit of a bootstrap approach to it. So my day-to-day is lots of emails. I probably send out between 50 and 100 emails a day, whether it's, cold or whether it's just follow-up. I make 20, 40 calls a day. So that's the majority of my day is filled up with just lots of activity. Of course, the rest of the week is doing demos. Hopefully, good weeks to do a lot of demos. And of course, I really find LinkedIn is a great tool. As you know, it really truly is. I've had some amazing connections here in the last year. I really started utilizing that. So I spent a fair amount of time on that too, which has been extremely beneficial. But of course, I do all our own social media posts. I created all that stuff for us. I do all the, I use HubSpot, by the way, which I love. It's an amazing sales tool. I wouldn't necessarily use a CRM as a full-blown CRM, but it has a CRM built into it. And it's been amazing for me to actually be able to track down, and I can send automated emails and series of emails. I can automate a lot of my processes and touch a lot of people at once. So really, HubSpot's been great. But I even do my own email campaigns. I even do some marketing campaigns. I can create some different, marketing type, looking. They're not bad, I'm not a designer, but they look okay. So I do a lot of that, blasting out those emails. And then we have done a couple trade shows, but we're really ramping up to a lot more next year. So I'll probably be traveling a lot next year, which would be good. Yeah, getting the word out. So yeah, the day to day it's the grind is just, man, the activity. I mean, obviously sales, that's what drives business. So you got to do it. But the other half is, I really enjoy just presenting the solution. I get excited about it. I mean, it's probably the only product I've ever sold that I truly, really, really believe in. There's a value there. It's needed, and it's just really fun to show. I get really excited if you can tell when I talk about it. So
yeah, I can. You're an excitable person either way, but you get super excited about this. So that's why I wanted to have you on, man.
Hey, we're nerding out, man. We're nerding out, brother.
It's really cool. I kind of want to dive a little deeper into your day-to-day because you mentioned a couple things. One,
sure.
You make 30 to 40 calls a day. Is that what you said?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And then, so that's interesting. I mean, are these cold calls or these inbound leads that you've gotten from HubSpot, or how does that work?
Right. So we're not doing any kind of inbound marketing yet. I mean, we have what happened was the software developers kind of missed their mark as far as the enterprise versions goes. We're missing some features like multi-language. So I think obviously startup, we don't outsource the code. We can't outsource it to India or anything else,
Right.
because it's illegal and because we're all government guys and we're committed to. So DoD won't let us. But anyway.
Right.
So we have in-house, developers, and of course there's good and bad with that. But we had to kind of back off on some of the marketing until those enterprise features were done, because we were initially targeting like the top 100 law firms in the U.S. and a lot of government entities. So now we just got ramped up. Actually, starting October 1st, we're going to start turning the marketing back on. So really, right now, the leads of the shows that we've done and that our other guys have done, I've been following up on those. But yeah, the majority of those are cold calls. I mean, I've actually, with, like I said, HubSpot, we don't use kind of lead gen, but it's a great tool for tracking and just,
Gotcha.
pushing those down the pipeline. But I have been looking at some really cool tools like discover.org if you're not hip to it. But man, it's an expensive solution, but we're looking into it very heavily because it's pretty brilliant as far as, finding, information, data about companies and what they're looking for, and trying to catch them during the buying cycle when they have the pain points there, as well as all the information, email, et cetera. So we're going to start implementing that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. And what are you using for a CRM, if anything?
Well, we start with HubSpot. So the sales side, it's really just for me. I mean, and eventually my team when we build it up. But we use Microsoft Dynamics for our CRM. So once they go to an actual client, we put them in Dynamics to track all that, renewals, et cetera, because this is a much more robust system. And then HubSpot kind of built their CRM just because people are asking for it. And it's a great tool, like I said, to manage the day-to-day of the sales and marketing guys. But yeah, once it gets out of that, you really can't do too much more that you can't get real deep on the CRM. So yeah, Microsoft Dynamics has been great.
Cool. Yeah, I was looking at Dynamics. It's a little bit cost prohibitive for what we're trying to do, especially.
Yeah, I know.
We have field techs, and I want to get the field tech module, and then I want to get on the accounting side, but I also want it for a CRM. So it has to really do away with several different pieces of discrete software that we're using. It's just cost prohibitive. I went through the whole sales process, the pre-sales process, and they're like, well, we're not going to do that.
There's some good ones out there like Sugar CRM. You hear of those guys?
Sugar. I used to install that when it was a free open. They actually cut off the free open source.
Oh, they did. Okay, because that was a nice cheap solution. It was great.
I used it a lot. Installed that on a Linux and Apache MySQL stack that I would build in house. Back in the day when like Amazon EC2 wasn't a thing.
So, right. Before AWS.
Gone are the days of Sugar CRM, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, HubSpot does work on a very light level, and it is cheap. I mean, I'll have to show you sometime so you think as a deeper dive might work for what you're doing. We just have Dynamics just because we want to ensure that when we bring them on that they're obviously we want to make them they're renewing, and it's just a little bit more robust that way. But yeah, HubSpot does work. I mean, there's several. I'll have to show you sometime.
That would be nice actually. And are you using Office 365 with Dynamics 365? Is that like integrated pretty tightly with it?
Yeah, correct. So I'm not. I really don't use Dynamics personally yet. I mean, we the guys, the IAG, the Inventory Advisors Group, the guys are the parent company. That's more on their side, but I've seen it. But yeah, obviously 365, of course, because our solution is actually a plug-in to Microsoft Suite and Adobe. So yeah, we're definitely hip on and use 365 a big way. So
yeah, so I mean. This is actually kind of getting way off course, but actually it's not, because I wanted to talk to you a lot about, what you're doing on the information security side and like how you're bringing it to market and the whole sales process around that. Because for me personally, and for Guardian, it's kind of a top of mind thing because we came on as a binary defense reseller, and we're actually like picking your brain to a certain extent on how to do it right, because we're not an information security company, and our sales team doesn't really have we don't have a CRM. We don't track anything, and it's we get all referrals. We don't do cold calling, and so there's a lot of opportunity to get somebody that knows a CRM and knows how to manage a team of salespeople and start picking up the phone and working the tracking sheet, working the CRM, getting demos on the calendar, rinsing and repeating, and managing those relationships. That's what we need right now.
Well, if things don't work out, you can call me, but I'm happy to help you offline though, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm kind of scratching my own itch at this point, but it's good information. I'm sure somebody would like to hear it.
It is. It's tough. It really is a challenge. I know. I get it. And, it's really, and that's the thing about, why I like startups, because it's always just like little savvy little, scrappy startup, it's just like, you can do whatever the heck you want and figure things out in the way. And I love that, man. I'm not real like regimented. I was in a rock band for, freaking 15 years, man. Like I never really liked, big corporate or just, the man. Or I like doing things my way and just finding out how to do things and just being on the way and just really figuring it out. And that's the fun part for me. I mean, I've worked at ADP as I first cut my teeth there for a couple of years doing sales, and my first corporate sales got like 10 years ago. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot, but I learned that I never would want to do that again. So I started with Area 51 because they're a smaller company. And I helped them grow significantly. But right now, I'm at my apex right now. I'm really digging this gig because it's truly not only it's a startup, it's a unique solution. I love it, but I also have a chance to be part of the company, which is exciting. So it's and actually people actually give a shit about what I do or what I'm saying. That to me, man, it's important. So I think at some point you get a guy like that on your team and you'll watch it. You guys will explode.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'll help you out, man. You know me. I'll go on LinkedIn and we'll look something down there for sure.
Yeah. Actually, LinkedIn is huge, man. I appreciate you pumping out some of those reshares on the content, and the stuff that I've been pumping out just here recently, just kind of testing out different, like, see what resonates with people, see if it's like the more, like just like kind of just real raw footage, or maybe it's a more polished thing. I'm just testing what's working, and I get some really good analytics from like the business page side as well as the personal side, and kind of combining that data and seeing like what's effective in terms of like content marketing. So I've had a lot of, not success, but I've had a lot of interesting data, if you will.
Well, Joe Paluzzi, I'm not sure if you heard of him. He's up here. He created the Content Marketing Institute. Brilliant company. And they're huge. They do events in Cleveland. They always have shit. They had like Kevin Spacey, I think, before he actually got in trouble with whatever he was doing. But years ago they had him. They have like all kinds of they bring in some pretty big speakers, I guess, that point. And I'll have to connect you with him. He's a friend of mine on LinkedIn, and I've met him a few times. And they really, as far as content marketing, man, that's it. I mean, he started that company years ago. I think he sold it for like 15-20 million or something crazy. So he's really good at it. And he really started creating that content, which you're on the right. You're doing exactly like, it's almost like you've seen them before, or you've been to whatever their conference is, because you're doing the right thing. I will say that on LinkedIn, we were talking about that. I did have a not so great experience with Sales Navigator. Have you ever tried that?
I pay like $80 a month for it, and I haven't closed a single sale, but I also don't use it effectively. And I'm not in sales. I'm digging trenches and running cable and networking stuff.
Yeah, that's true, right? Well, I think it's funny because there's all kinds of things on LinkedIn you may or may not know, but if you're in groups, right? So I'm in several different. Obviously, I'm in a lot of like CIO, CISO, IT management services groups. And you can send up to, I think it's like 15 messages a month. If in those groups, you can direct message, people in those groups. It's the same thing with Sales Navigator, right? You get 15, you can actually go literally ping them directly. And what I found was I wanted to test it out. I used it for 2 months because I just never used it. And I agree, like a lot of the analytics side's got some really cool stuff. But I was more interested with the direct sales portion of it. So I even whenever something came out in the news, like whenever Citibank got hacked or whatever, I actually found like the CISO of Citibank to send like a message. And I've had zero success with that. Like not even a reply for anything. But in the groups that I'm in, with the other 15 free messages I get a month, I've actually had some demos out of it. So for me, it was like, why am I paying $80 a month, or I can do this for free? I think it's just, LinkedIn is, in that respect, so many people get emails now. I think it was more effective when they first launched it, but now everybody's kind of it's like white noise. And even my CEO is like, man, I get so many freaking emails, or just emails from just sales. He's like, it drives me nuts. So I can see why. But if you're in like groups, groups is just, I've had some great success with that. Met some great people that connected to some pretty serious cats out there. And just because if you're a part of that group and then they see you're connected to certain people, they'll connect with you. So you can kind of like do a light little hey, I know we have some mutual connections here. I wanted to reach out. We have some like interests. I want to show you what we're doing. It's really cool. And if you come across without being like, hey, I want you to buy my product, or just, if you just say, hey, I know with your background, you'll find what we're doing intriguing. That's not how you start the conversation, because it's true. And I've had a lot of success with that, just, with a lot of cybersecurity, C-levels, just saying, yeah, I'd love to see what you're doing. They may not want to buy it, but at least they know it exists. Right. And that's been very successful for me on LinkedIn. So
that's some serious advanced, LinkedIn tip right there. I might actually, based on that information you just gave me, I might cancel my membership.
I mean,
to be honest,
if you're looking, dude, I mean, if you're looking for like a job or something, or things like that, I mean, maybe it has some, the premium has some nice things,
yeah.
To look at your profile, which you already get some of those. I mean, you already get free, LinkedIn, even if you don't have premium, they'll get, LinkedIn will give you like, if people have the gold, like LinkedIn status, they'll allow you to reach out to them via email. You get a couple of those a month anyway. And the groups, you get up to 15. So every month I have a thing on my calendar that says, okay, send out group LinkedIn messages, I'll send out all 15 like in one day. Now next month I'll do the same. And it's premium is, the first time I tried it, I'm just sharing it because we were talking about it. I didn't find it useful. But hey, I mean, maybe like you said, use it a different way, it might be successful. But yeah, I would try like just, cancel the subscription, do the free stuff for a while, direct email those guys in the groups and see how that works out. And then of course you can always turn it back on, So.
What about my ego, Mark? What about that gold in beside my name? I want the gold icon beside my name. I want to look cool, man. That's worth the $80 a month, right?
Yeah, the gold. Yeah, that's what is the premium. You're right. Yeah, or it could be a lion, right? Which I don't believe in that either, man. That's like, come on, really. LinkedIn, open networker, like, dude, like you're like the guys that like when I go to network meetings that you're like a sales guy selling the other sales guy. Like,
right?
You guys are sitting there talking to each other, trying to sell each other your own product. Like, shut up and just be friends. It's like
that's so true though. Dude, that's funny. Yeah,
networking stuff drives me nuts. So sometimes they're really good, if you go to the right ones. But sometimes it's just like it's people just spinning around in a circle. That's why I pick and choose which ones I go to. So.
Yeah, on my personal Instagram account, I uploaded my driver's license to get a verified check mark. I still haven't gotten that check mark.
Man, you exposed your data too. I'll be your social security number on there.
Oh, there's no such thing as privacy anymore. I mean, unless you get WikiLocks, I guess, but still, you run the risk. You run the risk regardless.
Control your content for the life of the document, man. Absolutely. Yeah, and I agree. It's everything out there. It's really, truly, like you said, it's all out there for people just to grab, and just if you're proactive protecting it, you're okay, you're ahead of the game. But if you sit around, be reactive, not proactive, you're going to get screwed. I mean, I always say, hey, use WikiLocks to stay out of the headlines. It's true. I mean, it's so many people, like I see these companies every week, just get nailed, and and literally it's majority of them. It's literally just, hey, we've got files stolen or breach. And now I'm like, we could have helped you there, man. Like, you could have used this, but now obviously like Cryptolocker for compliance, we can help. But, if you obviously get your files locked up, a good backup's your best bet. But it is nice for compliance on our side too. We can help, make sure you're still compliant. But yeah, I agree. You got to be proactive these days, man. Otherwise you're going to get nailed.
What was the story about Cryptolocker? I think we wrote down Cryptolocker blame game. What was that?
Oh yeah, back in the old Area 51 days. So data solution, that is. Which, by the way, dude, we used to get some crazy like letters and stuff from like these dudes like writing about they want to see the aliens and stuff. Like legit, we have like guys leaving answering like 2-hour messages on our voicemail system on the weekends. Like, I know where you guys are. This is Area 51, dude. I'm serious. I mean, I have to show you sometime. I think I took a picture of one of the letters. This guy was like obviously out of his mind, but he was like, he's saying he's going to come to where we are. Like, I'm like, so yep, funny. We're over on 60 Hannah Parkway. If you want to come see us, I guess, But anyway, that story, the Cryptolocker story. So we brought on a pretty large, good-sized CPA firm, and I was really happy. I wanted to get these guys pretty bad. We got them, and literally a week after we signed, they got Cryptolocker. Now, obviously, we were still at that point onboarding them, just getting our agents on the machines, and just starting to get a feel for their network. And so the owner was excuse me, a short little Napoleon complex kind of dude, like a very, very angry individual. Anyway, so he called a meeting, and me and my partner went down there, and we talked to him. He was like, literally, like, I mean, standing up, like, and pointing at our faces. Like, it was bad. Like, he's like, you guys gave us this virus. Like, I go, that's exactly what we do, Jim. We get on new clients and we give them a virus right when we bring them on board. You know, that's sure. That's what we do. Yeah. So it was funny because I mean, obviously the blame, like you said, the blame game, they're blaming us, and you know, of course, anything that changes, like, you know, the IT network is obviously you get the blame for it. Good or bad. Well, actually, all bad stuff. You never get blamed for the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we sat there, and literally, man, like this, I literally had to take his finger and move out of my face. I go, you put a finger in my face one time, we're gonna have problems, man. You know, and I got like to that point, and then he backed down. He goes, well, I'm just frustrated. I go, I get it. Let's talk. You know, don't sit there and threaten me like in my face, man. Like, you know. I do. Knock you out. No, I'm just kidding. But it was interesting. That's one of the most craziest confrontations I've ever had, like with a customer. I mean, I've had angry individuals, obviously in the IT world. They get frustrated because they're like, yeah, the network's down, something's happened. They blame you, which they should. I mean, we didn't take the ownership of that. But like you said, you know, I mean, I always say like antivirus is like a condom, right? It's 98% effective. You know,
right? Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna like the 2% that gets you. Well, you know, and I told them that. I said, hey, you guys are a mess. We've been trying to tell you this. It's exactly what we told you before we brought you on. I mean, they had like 7 servers. They only needed like really 3, and they had some really old, like there were some old platforms. It was a mess. I mean, everything ran like dog crap, and this was just, you know, we thought we just tried to get them. You know, we're trying as quick as we could. You know, a week later, it's just unfortunate that timing happened, but it ended up after we got through it. Thank God we did. We do first things that we do. We bring on a new client. At that point was, you know, check the backups. So thank God we did that. So we had a great backup. It was like literally had an image of the server. We already had a box on site. So we did like BYOD, and I did an image of the server. So we spun him back up like in 2 hours, and he was just like, wow, that was amazing. I said, yes, it gets better, man. Like, just give us some time. So after that, we built they're still a long-standing client of theirs, and they're a great client. But it's just funny how, you know, things start like that go 0 to 60. You know, sometimes you never know. You think like, man, I'm gonna have to punch this dude, or he's gonna be my client for the next 10 years. You know? So interesting. That was pretty fun. Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
That's pretty good. Yeah, good. Correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation. I have to tell people that. It's just, come on, man.
Yes.
Like, ever since you changed my font size on my Excel spreadsheet, my network doesn't work. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and you did it on purpose, you know, Mr. IT. That's what we do.
They'll say job security. I get that all the time. Job security is like, no, like I don't enjoy doing this. Like, I'm just like kind of help desk because I know how to do it. I would much rather be doing something else than resetting your password. Trust me.
Yeah. I used to love to have the pleasure of turning off their servers when they didn't pay.
Oh gosh.
I know it's bad, but I mean, hey, it's like, you know, man, like, you know, something's, you know, you don't pay. I mean, collections, man. Obviously, that's not we didn't do that. We actually did it once. We had a client that was really bad. They didn't want to pay us. Exactly. 6 months in, it's like, dude, you know, like, but yeah, you're right. It's it is funny how they just always you. It's like, oh, it's your fault, you know. God.
So you're using the Microsoft Surface. Do you like it?
I do. Yes, I do.
You'd like the newer one, or which one do you have?
The Surface Pro. So it's just a 4, Surface Pro 4. I think it's the newest, or you know, I'm not real. I mean, I was looking more like, you know, hey, I want an i7 with SSD, you know, and it's a very nice machine. It's expensive, like $2,500, but it's worth every penny. I mean, I like it. It's just obviously portability, everything else. I mean, it's been fantastic, and yeah, I really don't use it as a tablet that much. But you know, but I love it because it's just, you know, it's great for my demos, and it's just a nice little machine, and you know, I got everything tied in 365 now, so or iCloud share, everything. So I love it, man. I mean, if you have the means, you know, and you can, I mean, I highly recommend it because it's a great machine. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's expensive, but you know, hey, you get what you pay for, you know.
Yeah, I'm rocking the. I've been getting my technicians the Lenovo T440 refurb off Amazon. It's $220.
Yeah, dude. Wait, it's a 440s.
T440.
What, 6-7 years ago or something?
solid state drive, 8 gigabytes of RAM. I use it as a dual boot Windows 10 and Kali Linux, so it
Okay,
actually
yeah,
works.
yeah.
It works pretty well. I mean, but it's nothing like the Surface, But we're technicians and we drop them off ladders, so there's that.
Well, you need a tough book then or something, right?
Yeah, right.
I know it's funny because I have an old 220 as my
Yeah.
backup, and
Okay.
and before I got to the Surface, I was kind of using that. I beefed it up. I put
Yeah.
8 gigs of RAM in it. I put in a 256 SSD, and I already had an i5 in it. Man, it runs like a champ. It's like 9 years old.
Yeah,
Like,
it's quite surprising.
beast.
You put Windows 10 on that, and it runs pretty well. It works.
Oh, dude, those ThinkPads are money. I mean,
Yeah.
we used to always recommend those for our medical clients because same thing, like
Yep.
you dropping them and things like that are tough. But man, you can just beat those things up and use them for a decade if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
So
I traveled around the country with one, working in hospitals, putting it like in drop ceilings, doing construction
yeah,
and putting on like the tool cart. Still worked, and same situation with when I'm at Guardian. I take that thing everywhere. It's all over the place. So and it
that's
still works.
awesome. No, that's like I said. That's what I use literally for the past couple of years, and then
Yeah.
I decided I put out even though I beat it up, it ran pretty nice, but it's still, obviously the older machines, so it doesn't run the way I really want to. Because when I'm showing demos, obviously I want to put my best foot forward. So you got to have it look nice and fast and make sure that it's up to speed. So yeah, the Surface has been fantastic. So I really, if you get a chance to check them out, do it.
Yep, absolutely. Man, this has been actually a really good conversation. We could probably talk for another hour, but we're not. We're gonna wrap it up because I'm getting uncomfortable in my chair and it's making noise and squeaking. But we gotta stay in touch. But we're gonna stay in touch, obviously. But
Yes.
I want to wrap it up with kind of talking about what we can do. What can Low Voltage Nation? What can I do to help you in the future? Or where can we find what you do? Is it on Instagram? Is it a website?
Correct. Yeah. So we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, hashtag WikiLocks, Twitter, hashtag WikiLocks.
Yep.
Very active on all the sites. You can also go to WikiLocks.com. That's WikiLocks.com. Has a nice high level everything there. So please, share the love would be great. I will also, I do have a couple, I think I even sent your invite to me to a friend of mine who has a company that I've actually been helping him out with on the side, like doing some consulting work. And it's called Sync Solutions, CINC. And a long-term friend of mine, we go back about 20 years, and he bought, it used to be called Telecom Systems of Ohio. And they mainly they were servicing, they still do, but just trying to convert everybody those old Iwatsu phones, so that they still have like the big voicemail cards they have to put in the in the box and the PBX. Anyway, so I sent him your information. I'm going to try to hope him to get him on one of these podcasts because I think
that'd be cool, man.
it'd be good. Yeah, I think he gets a lot more. Because that's his background, is all the structured cabling, VoIP and all that, which he does all that stuff, which might be an interesting conversation. So I'll definitely try to help you guys as well. And Low Voltage Nation is fantastic, man. I love what you're doing. I watch all the podcasts when I can. You've had some great interviews already. I'm just really excited and happy that you had me on here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We'll be in touch. I'll maybe get you back on for like a follow up, maybe some more like diving more deep into what you're doing, and we'll go from there, man. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday and go Cleveland Browns. Thank goodness they won tonight.
Go Browns, yeah, baby. We needed that one today. So good W today. But yeah, man. Hey, Blake, always a pleasure. Let's stay in touch here. We'll talk offline here soon.
Yep. Take care, Mark.
All right, brother.
Bye.